Hey guys, welcome to the class. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Clockwork Courtyard as well. Today we're going to do a little 15-20 minute sequence, real short class that's going to focus on the legs, and hopefully it should be a great little bit of movement to bring to a kind of post-run workout. So release some tension in the quads, hips, groin, calves, that kind of thing. Hope you enjoy. So yeah, make yourself comfortable on your mat. We're going to start in a child's pose. And if you're like me in your child's pose, you want to go quite deep into the kind of hips and the groin. Think about taking your knees really wide. And then from there you can sweep the arms long and let the forehead relax. Or if you're someone that's potentially wanting to get a little bit more out of your back, or kind of lengthen the back, you could bring the knees together, and then as the forehead rolls down onto the ground, sweep your arms down by your sides, and you'll hopefully notice the difference in the pose. And whichever you have chosen, get comfortable. A little bit of movement might help you to do that. Shuffle the shoulders, give the bum a little bit of a shake. And then just softly close the eyes, and we'll take a moment here. Enjoy a bit of stillness, find a bit of calm, slow the body down, and just transition into it from whatever you were doing previously. Let's just frame this little bit of movement with some time to get in the right frame of mind and to bring the focus in. Start to kind of grab your attention and direct it inwards. So perhaps noticing how you feel as a whole, scan through the body, notice any kind of overriding feeling physically, mentally. Perhaps notice your energy levels. And then just taking your attention to the breath. Start to find it, start to make a bit of a connection with it. Focus, your attention can latch onto the breath, both the inhale and the exhale. And just take any necessary measures to slow it down, making sure you're tapping into a diaphragmatic breath where you're using your nose and you're breathing deeply into your belly rather than just breathing into your chest or your upper body or your ribs. Let's take it down low. 3 or 4 more times, guys. Nice and slow, nice and long. And then in your own time, just edge the fingertips a little bit further down the mat so you can feel a nice gentle side stretch down the upper body. Take your arms as long as they can go. Maybe you can start to feel your armpits kind of rise up off the ground. And then perhaps some movement there. You could shuffle your forehead from side to side, or give the shoulders a roll. And then in your own time, just gently come up to your all fours. Where we'll bring just a little bit of movement here to loosen out. Perhaps draw some circles. Perhaps draw the figure of 8 with your upper body. And just notice any kind of like rigidity, if that's a word. Just rigid areas in the body, stiffness. Particularly maybe in the head and the neck, so maybe close the eyes and just take the movement wherever feels good for you. Go freestyle, move into a place in the hips or the shoulders that feels good. Move sideways, move up and down, bending the elbows. And then 3 cat and cow poses, guys. Soften the belly down to the mat as you inhale. Chest opens, gaze forwards. And then as you exhale, draw chin back in. Start to hollow out the tummy. Inhale, soften the belly back down towards the ground as the back arches. And as you breathe out, suck in the tummy, hollow it out, and dome the back. Inhale, arch it. Exhale, dome. Push with the hands. When you're done, guys, come back to a neutral place. Untuck the toes, lift the knees off the mat, and head to your downward facing dog. So pedal the feet out straight away. I suggest just bending one knee quite a lot and straightening your other leg. You can really get into the calf and the hamstring, check in with it, notice how it feels. Change sides, do the same thing with the other leg, and then maybe do it a couple more times. Take the right leg really high. Let's lift it up to the ceiling. Don't worry about alignment, just take it wherever feels good. So maybe bend the knee, kick the heel to the bum. You could point the right knee to the ceiling to open out the hips. You could think about giving your ankle a turn, opening the toes, spread them wide. Or maybe even draw some big circles with the knee to loosen out the hip. And then just lower the foot and do the same thing with the left leg. Always having that analytical eye whereby you're kind of noticing if one side feels a little bit different to the other. Come back to your downward dog. And just take a moment to make sure you're pushing quite hard with your hands. Making sure that the kind of front half of your mat is being pushed away from you and the bottom half of your mat is being pushed away from you that way with your feet. Suck in the tummy, relax the face, the head, the neck down. Close the eyes, take a deep breath in through the nose. And let it out through the mouth. And on the next inhale, let's lift the right leg up to the ceiling, bending the knee, kicking the heel to the bum. So this time, think a little bit more about your alignment. So as you point your right knee to the ceiling, notice if the left shoulder starts to dump down. Try to keep the shoulders square to the mat. And then a step outside of your right hand from here. We'll find a twist, raising the right arm. You want to think about a soft left elbow. Maybe tuck the right knee in towards the chest. Look up to your right hand. And gently lower the right hand. Let's drop the left knee from here, guys. And then come into your lizard pose, which you're already in. Feel free to stay on your hands. It may feel good to drop the forearms down. And quite often you're kind of told to, or encouraged to open the chest out to the front in your lizard. If I was you, don't worry about it, just drop the head wherever you are. Let the head kind of relax. So you can take the focus all the way into the inside of the groin, hip flexor. Close the eyes, breathe slowly into whatever feelings, sensations arise. And then make your way back onto the hands. Let's take a step back to a plank. And we're going to skip the vinyasa, pushing the bum in the air, downward dog. Just do the same thing on the other side. Left leg going up. Bend the knee, kick the heel to the bum. Open out the hips. And then step outside your left hand. Left arm will rise. You can lift it up. Notice the back heel. Try and kick it away from you. And think about your hips being square to the mat. So if there's any dumping down in the right hip, maybe you want to kind of level it out. And then gently lower the left hand and the right knee. And let's do the same thing that we did on the other side. So forearms might come down. Maybe you're just staying on the hands. You could, if you do have a block or a book, think about kind of working towards going down. Meet halfway. Breathe slowly. Keep the connection there. And then just make your way back onto the hands and step back to your plank. So spread the fingers really wide. Make sure you're pushing with the hands so the back is domed up to the ceiling. Gazing slightly forwards, lengthening the spine, kicking your heels away from you. And let's drop the knees, the chest, the chin, all the way down to the mat. Finding a cobra, inhaling, lifting the chest up. Take your time with it. And then exhale back to your downward facing dog. We're going to take similar moves, guys. Raise the right leg. Bend the knee. Again, nice opening in the hips. Step outside right hand. Find the twist. Raising your right arm. Soft left elbow. Right knee, tuck it in. Left heel, kick it away. And then drop the right hand. And this time just keep the left knee off the mat for a moment. And see if you can start to kind of roll over the left toes and bring a bit of movement into it. You can even start to kind of push the heel away, give the calf a decent stretch as you go back. And And then let's drop, you could also drop your forearms here if you wanted to go a little bit deeper into it. And then when you're done, let's drop the left knee. Take the right hand to the right thigh this time, and we'll gently nudge the knee out to the side. So you want to think about flipping onto the right side of the right foot as you do so, straightening your right arm. And notice upper body here. Think about trying to spiral it open so the chest is almost starting to face the ceiling. Some of you may want to bring the left knee, the left leg into it by bending it, kicking the heel towards your bum. Right arm might sweep round and get it. You could gently draw the foot in towards the body. Maybe even left forearm goes down. But as I say, just take whatever feels good for you. Don't feel like you have to do everything I say. And then come back to center. Take your time to step back to your plank, skip your vinyasa, bum goes in the air, down dog. Inhale to raise the left leg, and let's do the same thing on the other side. So a little bend in the knee first, step outside left hand. Lift your left arm for the twist, enjoy it. Breathe. And then left hand down, hold it here for a moment, start to roll over the toes. Maybe bring the forearms down if you want to go deeper. And then make your way back onto the hands before dropping right knee down. Left hand, left thigh. And then a gentle nudge. So you want to think about the hips here. You can start to kind of push the right hip forwards as you spiral the chest and the upper body. And then maybe you've got the flexibility in the right leg to kick the heel. Left hand might grab it. But challenging position, deep stretch for that one. Right forearm might go down to go ever so deeper. Real juicy one that. Come back to center, placing your hands on the mat. Maybe shuffle the left foot in first, and then step back to your plank. Making sure shoulders are above the wrists. Let's move with the exhale, so lower the knees, the chest, the chin as you breathe out. And then breathe in, cobra. So lift the chest, nice bend in the back. Exhale, head back, down dog. Third, lizard variation. Let's lift the right leg, bend the knee again, open out hips. Notice shoulders, notice hands. And then step outside right hand for the twist. Let's drop the right hand and the left knee. Now this time I want you to think about keeping your right knee directly above your right ankle. And keep those kind of areas strong, and we'll just walk the hands over to the left side. You want to think about torso being 45-degree angle out to the left. Perhaps your arms are kind of parallel. And then maybe look in towards the right knee, make sure it's still kind of staying strong. And from here you can take it a little bit further, edge the fingertips a little bit longer. Maybe left forearm wants to go down. And then maybe even edge the right fingertips a little bit further than the left. And then once you're there, close the eyes and just think about that kind of deep stretch that's going down into the inside of the right groin. It's kind of heading from the right fingertips all the way down the right side of your body. Breathe. Let's come back in. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Think about control in your movements. Push the bum back up, down dog, lift left leg, open out. And then step outside left hand. Find your twist. And then lower left hand. Gently nudge the hands out to the right. And then right forearm might go down. Left arm, left fingers might go a little bit further than the right. Hopefully should feel pretty good. Breathe into any sensations that feel beyond pleasant. Try and breathe through them. And then come back to center. Hands in the middle, step back to your plank. Again, move with the breath. So an exhale, lower the knees, the chest, the chin. Inhale, lift up, so chest comes up, back, back bends. And then exhale, head back to your downward dog. As you'll notice, we're going to take it quite easy with the vinyasas. No chaturanga dandasana. Downward facing dog. Take a moment to think of your alignment. Spread your fingers. Feet hip width apart. Soften your knees. Relax the face. Take a long inhale and a long exhale. And then use your next breath in to lift the right leg. Keep the leg straight. Keep your hips square. And gaze forwards. Let's take a step in between the hands and then drop the left knee down. Breathe in to lift the arms up into a low lunge. Think about lifting the sides of the body up high. Soften your shoulders. And then just take maybe 2 or 3 breaths here. You can think about potentially going deeper into it by pushing the hips forwards. You want to continue the deep lunge, almost scooping the chest forwards and up, slight back bend. Left hip flexor gets a good seeing to. Breathe, and then sweep the hands down. Half splits from here. Gently roll the bum back, straightening out your right leg. Point toes to the ceiling. Keep the hips square. Bit of a common theme. Maybe you could go deeper into this by lifting the chest up a little bit, inhaling, flattening out the back, lengthening your upper body, and then exhaling to forward fold a little bit deeper over. And then a gentle roll forwards. Let's frame the foot with our hands, step onto it, so onto the right foot, and then lift the left leg behind you. Hands come to prayer, rise up to your warrior 3. Soft bend in the right knee might help. Stabilize the gaze, find something to look at, something to stare at, and then follow your breath in and out, and then you can start worrying about left foot being flexed and hips being square. From here, guys, take a step back, left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Sweep your arms wide into your warrior 2. So right knee's above the right ankle. Gaze over right hand, flip the palm and reverse it so right arm goes high. Left hand, left thigh. Keep the deep lunge in your right knee. And maybe look up to the right hand. And then try and move with the breath. So an exhale to cartwheel your arms down. Step back to your plank. And let's drop the knees. Chest and chin goes down slowly. Inhale, lift the chest up. Cobra. And then exhale, push on back. Down dog. Lifting your left leg with the inhale. And gazing forward, stepping in between your hands. Let's drop the right knee and then lift up the arms with the breath in. Take your time, perhaps pushing it forwards, almost that kind of scooping forwards and up of your upper body. Slight back bend, try and relax shoulders, soften face. And then gently sweep the hands down. Half splits, bum comes back, left leg straightens. Try not to crash down onto the heel of the right foot. You want to keep a little bit of gap there. Again, inhale, chest up. Exhale, maybe go a little deeper into it. Remember to be just guided by what is going on inside. How do you feel? Make sure you're guided by your sensations. And then roll forwards. Warrior 3, take your time. Rise up. I always think pressing the hands together quite hard in your Warrior 3 is a great one, just to kind of center the focus. Similar to centering the focus around your gaze and your breath. And then step back softly. You may want to extend the arms if you want the extra challenge. So when the right foot goes back, real lightness in the step. Sweep the arms wide, warrior 2. Take a moment just to kind of check in with your alignment, check in with the feet. Make sure left knee's above left ankle, shoulders are relaxed. And let's flip the palm and reverse it on this side. Enjoy the pose. Left fingertips reaching high, left knee lunging deeply. And exhale to cartwheel. Fingers are wide as they hit the mat. Step back to your plank, softly and lightly, and then drop your knees. Exhaling, lowering your chest and your chin. Inhaling, lifting up the chest. Shoulders relaxed. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Take your time. Pedal the feet out. And just for a little kind of downward dog variation, I always like to bring post-run. You can think about taking a deep bend in the right knee. And just pointing the left foot out towards maybe the left side of the mat about 45 degrees. And you'll notice that you can start to feel something on the outside of the left legs. Try and push with the hands quite hard. It might deepen what's going on. Maybe you want to take it a little bit further. You could add a bit of a twist by grabbing hold of the outside of the left leg with the right hand. So it could grab the ankle, the shin, or the knee. Take your time to come back to your downward dog and do the same thing on the other side. So bending the left knee, prepare yourself. Make sure the entirety of the sole of the right foot is on the mat. 45-degree angle, point out to the right. Hold it here for a moment, play around with the push with the hands, adding a bit of weight onto it. And then you could possibly grab hold of outside of a right leg. Little twist. Could look up to your right armpit. And then come back to your down dog. Where we're going to soften the knees. We're going to find a camel pose. An excellent addition to a post-run schedule. Just standing on top of your knees. Placing the hands on the lower back, fingers on the bum. I suggest think about keeping your hips and your knees kind of stacked. Make sure your quads are kind of strong. We'll just gently tap into the back bend. So you want to think of chest opening, almost gazing up towards the ceiling. Maybe stay there. Again, think of your quads. Keep them strong. Maybe head goes all the way back. Then some of you may want to take it a little bit further and lower the hands onto the ground or down towards your heels, ankles, or calves. Try and relax the head. But again, just keep the hips pushing forwards. And don't forget to breathe. Coming back up. And then lowering the hands down onto the mat, downward facing dog, suck in the tummy, lift the hips up high as you relax your head down low. And then let's just take a gentle tiptoe towards the front of the mat, coming to a standing forward fold. Bend your knees quite a lot. I want to think about chest smothering thighs, dropping forehead down. You're finding length in your upper body first, primarily. Most importantly in this pose, you're trying to find length, space, spine. And then feel free to grab the elbows and take a swing. Ragdoll pose. You may find it more comfortable to drop the fingers on the mat and brush the ground with the fingertips. Or maybe take the hands behind you, grab hold of your calves. You can kind of give the calves a decent massage, particularly if you're post-run. Check in with them. And then maybe grab your opposite elbows there, so you're kind of hugging the chest into thigh. Relax your head. Allow the blood to make its way down to the brain from your heart. Allow those soothing and calming effects of a standing forward fold to soak in, to take place, and then gently drop the hands, and then uncurl. We'll come to a standing pose. Try and keep the focus, keep controlled movements, and as you come up high, let's lift the arms. Grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand, and just a gentle side stretch from here. Lean over to the left, keep the hips stacked on top of the knees, on top of the ankles. Come back up. Do the same thing on the other side. And then come back up and slowly uncurl. All the way down. Take your time again to maybe soften the knees. And you can grab hold of the big toes with the middle and index fingers. And start to straighten your arms, lifting up the chest, flattening out the back, gaze forwards. And then bending your elbows and forward folding, allowing the head to drop. A couple more times. Inhale, lift it up. Lengthen upper body. And then breathe out to forward fold. Take the head further in. Final time. Releasing the feet. Let's take the feet a little bit wider and prepare ourselves for a yogi squat. Malasana pose, pointing toes out to the sides. You can bend the knees. Use your hands for support if you need to. You may find that the heels want to come off the ground, or maybe they can't go down onto the ground. It's totally cool. Perhaps use a block or a book if you want to sit on it. If you are in the market for going deeper in, think about soles of the feet going down or as close to the ground as possible, and then you can open out the legs with the elbows. Think bum low, chest high. Bring a softness to the face. Breathe. Keeping the focus. Nice, guys. Lower the hands onto the mat, step back to your plank. And a final vinyasa for now. We'll drop the knees, the chest, the chin. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, push back, down dog. We're going to lift the right leg a final time. Bend the knee, kick the heel to the bum. And then a pigeon pose. Right knee, right wrist. Shin touches the mat. Left leg straightens. A good one to really kind of adjust. So maybe look into the left leg. Straighten it out. Maybe nudge the knee away or bring it in, whatever feels comfortable. You could grab hold of the right foot with the left hand if you think you could bring it up a little bit further north. Stay here on your hands. Or maybe take it to your sleeping pigeon. Elbows drop down. Arms go long. Forehead drops down. Wouldn't be a runner's yoga sequence without a couple of pigeons, steeping or reclining. Really good one for the glutes, the hip flexors. I'm sure you're all aware. Make sure you take the time to allow it to bring out the goods. Just close the eyes. Take 5 breaths. When you're done, come back onto the hands and lift the left knee off the ground. See if you can find the strength in the hands to kick the right leg all the way back to your down dog. Shake the leg out if you need to. And then we'll lift the left leg. And do the same thing on this side, bending the knee. And sweep the knee through to the left wrist. The left foot can kind of head towards the right wrist as a pointer. It's not really going to get there. Straight right leg. If you are heading down onto elbows or hands, you want to think about the hips. You want to kind of hinge from them. So maybe try and create some length in your upper body as you go down. So crown of the head wants to be long. And then wherever you are, forearms are down, maybe forehead is down. Try and relax the shoulders. If it feels quite deep for you, you may be like overcompensating other areas, so bringing tension into the jaw or the shoulders as well. So just maybe have a little scan through and try and soften those areas so we can really focus on the lower body. Breathe deeply, breathe slowly. And then make your way back to center, so onto the hands. And rather than heading back to your downward dog, let's just take a roll onto the bum. So you can drop the weight of the body onto the ground and then sweep your right leg forwards. And then we'll just kick both legs out in front of us, shape the legs out. Make sure your toes are pointing up to the ceiling, kick your heels away from you. And let's inhale to lift the arms, and then exhale to a forward fold. Hinging at your hips. Grab shins, grab feet. So think about the standing forward fold that you took just a few minutes ago. And you want to think about trying to get a similar connection between chest and thigh. So bend the knees quite a lot. And then try and get the crown of the head all the way down or heading towards tops of feet. So don't worry about straight legs. Lengthen spine. Create some space for all those nerves that are running down that area, particularly vagus nerve. Particular connection, strong connection with the nervous system. You want to keep it healthy. So stay here for a few breaths, maybe close the eyes. Smooth breathing. And then we'll take a gentle uncurl all the way down onto our backs, where we'll bring the left knee up to the chest. Take hold of the knee with the right hand. We'll take a supine twist. You can draw the knee all the way up towards your armpit first, and then take the knee with the right hand over to the right. You may find it easier to sweep the left elbow and the left wrist down onto the ground first. Make sure they're kind of rooted on the mat, and then take the knee just as far as it will go. Particularly good one for the glutes, with running in mind. Maybe look over to left hand, close your eyes and take a few breaths. No rushing through the pose, coming back to center when you're done. And let's lift the left leg, straighten it out, grab thigh, grab calf, grab whatever you would like to grab and draw the leg in towards the face. Maybe head comes up off the ground. You can flex both your feet. Remove any tension in the face, the jaw. And then gently lower the leg, bringing your right knee. Let's do exactly the same thing on this side. Squeeze it in, take it up high, and then prepare yourself for the pose. So right elbow, sweep it wide. Right wrist maybe touches the ground. Imagine the wrist and the elbow kind of stapled to the ground. And then take the knee just as far as it will go. Look over to right hand. Close the eyes. If you want to go deeper into it, maybe you can draw the knee over to the left each time you exhale. So a breath in to kind of prepare yourself. Breathe out, gently draw the knee. Soften around the twist. Coming back to center, straighten out the right leg, grab thigh, grab calf, draw it in, flex feet. Kick both heels away from you. And then lower the legs down to the mat. I'll bring both knees into the chest this time, finding our happy baby, opening out the legs, feet go high, grab hold of the insides of your thighs, maybe the insides of your feet. Maybe you can grab the big toes and start to straighten one leg, bring it back in, straighten the other. Maybe both legs are straight. Hang out here for as long as you want. Maybe take a little roll or a kind of a massaging of the back, lower back, shoulders. And then let's cross the feet and take hold of opposite feet with hands. So just a little bind to create a little bit of a roll forwards and backwards. So we're going to go along the spine, just to transition to head to a seated place, where we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and sweep the knees out wide. Grabbing tops of feet or sliding arms underneath the legs if you want to take the hands on top of feet there. Wherever you are, hinge at your hips. Think of length in back and neck. Think of a flat upper body as you go down. So knees are quite active. Again, if you're kind of making any progress to going deeper into the pose, try and move with the exhale. Close the eyes. Take your time. Bring a softness to the pose. as you breathe out. And then gently make your way back up. Straighten out the legs. And let's hover down all down to our backs, where we can enjoy a Shavasana pose. Similar to the class, it will be short and sweet, but to make sure that you are able to completely let go of the arms and the legs. Feel nice and grounded on your mat. Softly close the eyes. And just let all of that goodness, let all of that good work that you've just done, let it all process. Let it soak in. Just take your time to observe as the body slows down. Take your time to observe as any kind of sensations arise over your body. Enjoy the stillness. And just keeping your body still a little bit longer, start to deepen your breath. Bring some energy back in the body, start to wake it up. And then some gentle movements with the fingers and the toes, maybe with the head and the neck. Maybe extend your arms. A full body stretch. You can bring the knees to the chest and wrap the arms around the legs. Maybe squeeze, embrace, hug it in. Notice how you feel. And then take your time coming back up to your seated position. And then one final moment here, softly closing your eyes. Take the time to enjoy doing absolutely nothing. Maybe the only time that you are able to today to do nothing but notice how you feel. Scan through the body. Notice how you feel mentally. Notice your mood, what's going on. And then just time to thank yourself for making the time to practice, making the time to explore, both physically and mentally. And taking the time to seal your practice, gently bowing to close. Nice one. Stay. Awesome stuff. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's of some use, particularly post-run. Maybe the day after a run. Should feel pretty good. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, feedback, please feel free to get in touch. You can drop a comment below the video, or maybe get in touch on Instagram. I am Mr. Collyman, so come say hello. Or alternatively, head over to mrcollymanyoga.com for more of the same, more of everything. Take it easy, guys.